Tonight, we wander through a forgotten age, to a place the world has merely forgotten,
where people lived quietly.
and time moved gently. Take a deep breath, and let the present fade as we step into another time. Tonight, we explore 300 quiet moments from history. Long ago, in ancient times, people lived in ways very different from today. The dawn settles softly over the northern lands. Mists lingered gently above calm, still waters. Villages awaken slowly beneath faint, rosy skies. Wooden homes, warm from the day before, rest quietly. A few smoke tendrils rise, curling with the breeze. The air carries a mild, earthy scent of pine. Children stir in their beds, wrapped in woolen blankets. A mother hums low, stirring porridge on the fire. The steady drip of water fills wooden basins softly. Faint light seeps through woven curtains, touching oak floors. Men stretch slowly from deep, peaceful slumber. They rise to smooth the grain sacks in their homes. Women move with careful steps across frost-touched earth. Pets sniff around the doorway, tails wagging gently. Villagers gather near the well, exchanging low greetings. The market stirs lightly, a patchwork of muted colors. The smell of fresh bread drifts through thatched roofs. Hands wrap warm cloths around loaf-shaped dough quietly. A baker pats the mixture, steady and familiar. Apples and root vegetables lay in wooden crates. Faint murmur of water flowing over smooth stone sounds. Blackbirds perch on branches, starting their morning songs. The sun climbs a little higher, casting mellow light. Fishermen mend nets on the shore with careful patience. A small boat rocks gently, anchored beside the pier. A pair of boots shuffle along the pebble path. The village smith opens his door under soft light. Tools hang patiently above his glowing, steady hearth. Sparks float upward, fading like tiny stars in air. Old men sit quietly, weaving stories into the morning calm. Their voices hum like distant bells through the trees. Youngsters listen with steady eyes, the warmth of tales. Time seems to slow beneath the wide, pale sky. The scent of pine resin blends with crisp morning air. Rays touch the stone walls, breathing warmth into the day. Hands shape wood with the tender care of routine. A woman kneels to feed chicks peeked from straw nests. Their soft chirps weave into the peaceful hum of life. A child laughs faintly near the frozen stream's edge. Snowdrops lean toward the sun, awakening slowly below.
Clouds drift lazily over the rolling open fields. Cattle graze steadily, heads dipping between gentle grasses.
The breeze carries a calm song from the distant shore. A family moves quietly through rows of ripened grain. Sunlight glimmers on a small, steady river meandering through. Their footsteps stir thistle and heather, delicate and light. We move gently to the warmth of a baker's morning. The oven hums faintly, holding a gentle glow deep inside.
Flour dust swirls softly in sunbeams near the open door.
Two women work with steady hands, folding dough with care. The air smells of yeast, honey, and earth's quiet bounty. A small child watches, eyes wide and calm in the warmth. A basket filled with berries rests on a wooden bench. Outside, the scent of fresh bread mingles with pine and smoke. A cat curls nearby, basking in a beam of soft sunlight. Laughter bubbles low as hens cluck softly in the yard. The baker's apprentice moves slowly, learning the tender craft. Outside, a gentle breeze carries the faint song of sparrows. The door creaks open to let in a cool, steady breath. Sunlight moves gently across the wooden floorboards, warm and bright. A kettle whistles faintly, rising steam blending into still air. Women share hushed words, the rhythm of life flowing like water. Baskets brim with rye and barley, resting on woven mats. A pair of hands measure grains with careful, calm precision. The warmth of the oven traces soft shadows on pale walls.
Each loaf is shaped with patient, practiced fingers and love.
Dust motes drift lazily, touched by the mellow morning light. Outside, children chase each other quietly through shaded alleys. The distant sound of a cowbell jingles softly over the hills. Flames flicker gently in the hearth, casting a mellow glow. The village street holds a tender hush, full of everyday moments. Smoke curls in lazy spirals, joining the quiet morning sky. We drift now toward the simple rhythm of the village market. Wooden stalls rest beneath wide woven canopies, still and waiting. Bare feet shuffle softly over smooth cobblestones warmed by sun. A woman arranges baskets filled with fish glimmering faintly. Bundles of herbs lie wrapped in tender bundles of cloth. The scent of dried flowers and fresh wheat softens the air. Vessels of milk and jars of honey sit in steady rows. Hands pass lentils and grains with careful, slow precision. The market hums with a mild, peaceful cooing of voices.
A boy balances a stack of fresh eggs with careful focus.
Old men nod calmly, resting beside barrels of salted fish. Warm wool cloaks hang beside bright beads and simple trinkets. A young girl offers berries, their color deep and mellow. Branches of dried mushrooms hang from ropes along timber frames. The chatter blends gently with the faint rustle of cloth.
Sunlight sifts softly through leaves, creating patterned shadows. A breeze carries the calm murmur of distant water. Footsteps trace familiar paths between stalls filled with quiet life.
The village dog wanders lazily, nose to the earth's steady pulse. Mothers whisper soft instructions to children beside wagon wheels. The market breathes a slow, steady rhythm, deeply ingrained. A merchant counts coins with steady, patient fingers, calm breath. Bundles of leather and wool rest on woven mats nearby. The air tastes faintly of barley and damp earth. Old women share soft smiles as they exchange simple news. The peaceful babble of voices floats beneath a sky of blue. We move closer now to the tender warmth of a family home. Smoke curls tenderly from a low chimney into the sky. Inside, a fire crackles faintly in an iron hearth. The wooden beams glisten with a soft, honeyed light. A mother rocks a cradle with steady, gentle hands. The scent of dried herbs hangs quietly above the open door. A father carves a small wooden figure by a window's glow. Faint laughter drifts from the next room where children play softly. A woven rug cushions bare feet on the cool stone floor. Pots of stew bubble slowly, filling the air with warmth. Sunlight filters through latticed windows, casting calm, dappled patterns. A cat purrs softly by a basket of hand-spun wool. A loom stands in the corner, threads slow and patient. The rhythm of weaving blends with the tick of an old clock. Outside, a garden blooms with herbs and wildflowers in quiet splendor. Birds peek through the branches, their songs faint and tender.
A gentle breeze sways the fresh-cut bouquets on the windowsill.
The family gathers around a rough-hewn table, faces calm and bright. Hands pass plates of bread and cheese with quiet gratitude. Stories are shared softly, voices weaving a tender, mellow spell.
The hearth glows steady, a comforting heart of the home.
Shadows lengthen slowly, wrapping the room
in peaceful quiet. Lanterns are lit, casting a warm pool of light on worn wood. The hum of a lullaby drifts gently from the corner. The night promises rest beneath thick blankets, heavy and soft. Outside, the wind rustles leaves in a steady, rhythmic whisper. The family settles in, drawn together by the warmth of home. We now drift toward the hum of a serene seaside village. The shoreline stretches wide and calm beneath a pale sky. Fishing boats rest quietly, rocking softly in the silent waves. Fishermen check their nets with steady, patient hands. Seagulls wheel faintly overhead, their calls tender and far. Salt air carries the faint scent of seaweed and driftwood. A fisherman's wife tends a fire, roasting the day's catch slow. Children skip stones gently across smooth, steady water. Small wooden piers reach out like arms into the calm sea. Seashells grow warm beneath lazy rays from the fading sun. Boats bob gently beside each other, tied with steady ropes. Old logs lie scattered along the blushed, sandy shore. Fishermen mend sails with tender care beside flickering lantern light. The village dogs rest quietly on porches, tails still and calm. Nets hang to dry, woven with the care of everyday life. Sea spray drifts softly, mixing with the smell of smoke and salt. The horizon deepens into quiet shades of gray and blue. Lanterns light along the edges of docks, faint and warm. A woman hums quietly as she carries water from the well. Fish scales glisten faintly beneath the dimming evening sky. Smoke from hearth fires mingles with sea mist, soft and mild. The rhythm of water lapping against boats blends with hushed voices. Faint footsteps trail along the coastline, slow and peaceful. Roofs of thatch glow softly in the fading light. A lull settles over the village, tender and steady. We now turn slowly toward the still green fields beyond town. The gentle countryside stretches beneath a steady, pale sunlight. Sheep graze calmly in meadows dotted with wildflowers and grass. The air hums faintly with the buzzing of bees near flowers. Farmers tend to fields with balanced, quiet movements and care. A pair of oxen plod slowly through rows of freshly turned earth. Straw stacks rise like soft mountains beside tranquil wooden barns. Children gather wildflowers, baskets filled with gentle hues of spring.
Birdsong weaves through the leaves of tall, swaying trees. A cart creaks softly along a worn dirt path between homes. The scent of fresh hay mingles with earth and morning dew. Faint laughter drifts from a well near a small wooden fence. The rhythm of daily chores blends seamlessly with nature's calm. Women wash linens by a slow-moving stream that reflects sky. Knives carve fruit with steady hands beneath dappled sunlight. Smoke drifts from chimneys, a warm thread against the vast sky. The air feels crisp, but filled with the promise of rest. Wind plays gently with loose strands of hair and fluttering cloth. A pair of oxen pause, breathing steady and warm beside their load. Bluebells nod softly in the cool, steady breeze of afternoon. Streams gossip faintly over stones, weaving a hushed melody below. Fathers call their children home with mellow, reassuring tones. Small hands clasped tightly, skipping stones on shimmering water pools. Footsteps trail softly back to the village, slow and familiar. Evening settles like a tender blanket over the fields and hills. We move quietly now toward the humble craft of weaving indoors. Inside a timber home, a loom stands steady in the corner. Threads hang in calm colors of earth, sky, and water. A woman works slowly, fingers steady, passing shuttle between threads. The rhythmic clack of wood blends with the muted light's glow. Sunlight falls through small windows, warm on rough-hewn floors. A child plays softly near bundles of dyed wool and flax. The scent of raw fibers mingles with faint traces of smoke. Patterns take shape with tender care across woven cloth beneath calm eyes. A man sharpens needles by the fire's mellow flicker. Knots are tied gently, each one holding quiet stories. The warm hum of domestic industry fills the still room. Outside, birds sing faintly amid the steady murmur of the village. A cat stalks silently between shadowed corners, eyes bright and calm. Bundles of fabric await soft folds for the coming seasons. The loom breathes with steady life, turning waste into warmth. Evening comes slow, soft shadows stretching across walls filled with gentle light. By the window, a mother hums, her voice a delicate thread in air. The faint smell of dyed cloth lingers in the peaceful room. Seated near the hearth, a grandmother knits with patient fingers. Soft wool slides through her hands, warmed by dim firelight. The rhythm settles like a steady heartbeat beneath the night's calm. Children's sighs mingle with the flicker of fading candle flames. A small bowl of stew cools quietly beside a worn chair. Outside, the wind rustles leaves with a faint, steady whisper. The night deepens around this tender space of craft and family. We now drift toward the stillness of a quiet autumn morning. The trees wear coats of amber, their leaves crisp underfoot. Morning fog hugs the rolling hills in calm, wavering veils. Footsteps sound soft on paths lined with steady, fading foliage. A woman gathers late-season herbs with slow, careful hands. The air tastes faintly of smoke and damp earth, warm and steady. Birds fly low, their wings slicing through the mellow morning haze. Farmers carry bundles of wood for slow, warming hearth fires. Smoke rises like a soft sigh against the pale sky. A child watches silently as a slow river flows beside the village. The scent of baked apples drifts faintly on the cool breeze. Animals move calmly through shadowed pastures, grazing with quiet patience. A father checks traps set near the forest's edge with gentle care. Soft wool blankets hang to dry, weighted with the night's dew. The village settles into a quiet rhythm beneath golden light. Old roads wind slowly through fields glowing with mellow late sunlight. A lone traveler passes, footsteps steady and sure on worn stones. The hum of insects rises faintly among the fading blooms. Windows glow softly with hearth fire, sheltering warmth from the chill. A dog rests quietly by the door, steady breath puffing in air. We move gently now toward the long evenings of weaving stories. In the twilight, families gather close by dimming firesides. Voices draw low, weaving calm tales of days filled with light. A father's hands move slow, carving shapes into soft wood. Grandchildren listen, eyes wide but lids growing heavy and slow. The gentle clatter of a spinning wheel hums in rhythm. Lanterns cast warm pools of light on weathered faces, serene and still. Outside, stars blink faintly in a sky wrapped with deep night. Soft laughter mingles with the evening's tender, steady cadence. Old songs rise and fall like waves on a quiet shore. Hands pass bowls of bread and warm drinks with steady care. The scent of pinewood smoke curls through open doorways gently. A mother hums a lullaby that drifts into the dark. Children yawn and settle into the steady folds of blankets. The room fills with the whisper of breath and quiet dreams. Even the night seems to hold a calm, steady promise. Outside, the wind sighs faintly through top branches with restful grace. A cat whines between feet, purring a steady, gentle hymn. The hearth's warm glow eases into soft shadow and stillness. The day's soft moments settle deep into the hearts of all. We drift now through the gentle pulse of daily food rituals. Morning brings the rustle of grain, soft scents of fresh harvest. Women gather by the stone mill, turning grain with steady hands. The hum of wheels blends with the gentle murmur of dawn. Baskets brim with turnips, cabbages, and apples for daily meals. Bread dough rests in warm corners, proofing with sleepy patience. Fishermen return with soft, dripping bundles of quiet bounty. The village smell of smoked fish and freshly cut herbs mingling. Pot simmer quietly on the fire, thick with root vegetables and broth. A mother stirs slowly, tasting a calm blend of flavors. Chickens peck quietly near piles of spilled grain on soft earth. The air holds the scent of fresh-cut fennel and thyme. Children watch wide-eyed as adults prepare the day's simple feast. Boards of wood hold slices of cheese and bowls of softened butter. A gentle breeze carries faint laughter and the clinking of cups. Scenes of normal life fold softly into the pace of time. The warmth of shared meals brings a steady glow to tired faces. Golden honey drips slowly onto dense, dark rye bread crusts. Aromatic spices sit in tiny pots, waiting for slow use. Evening meals end with quiet thanks and soft, satisfied sighs. We now glide into the tranquility of a village's craftwork. Wood shops fill with the aroma of fresh-cut pine and oak. Hands shape planks and beams with care, guided by steady skill. The soft tap of mallets and carving tools blends in the air. A craftsman lines up planks to build a sturdy chest. The quiet rhythm of work ties closely to the land's pulse. Sunlight spills through open doors, warm against sawdust and wood chips. A woman stitches leather with gentle, practiced fingers, thread gliding smooth. Strings of beads and simple carved buttons rest nearby, ready. Old tools hang patiently on the workshop walls, worn by gentle use. Outside, the wind murmurs softly through leafy, stoic trees. Visitors arrive slowly, feet brushing soft grass, voices muted and kind. Finished pieces rest quietly, waiting to warm a humble home. The scent of pine mingles with the faint fragrance of tanned leather.
Adults and children share quiet smiles across a workbench of shared effort. Evening shadows deepen gently across the glowing floorboards. Lantern light flickers tenderly, casting dancing shadows on tool racks. The day's work folds quietly into the peace of setting sun. We move gently now toward the softness of a winter's morning. Glistens faintly on delicate sleeping branches outside homes. Breath clouds in the air as villagers begin their slow day. Smoke curls upward steadily, promising warmth against crisp cold.
Homes hold a tender stillness, wrapped in wool and burning pine.
Breakfast scents drift softly from open fires, mingling with frozen air. Hands cup warm mugs, seeking steady comfort in the chill. Children wriggle slowly into thick, felted boots and heavy cloaks. Animals stir faintly beneath straw, secure in muted warmth. The quiet crunch of footsteps blends with the subtle song of frost. Village paths trace soft lines between white-tipped fields and dark woods. Old wood creaks gently as doors open to the still dawn. Fires in hearths glow steady, casting welcoming light through frosted windows. Smoke rings rise, weaving slow spirals against pastel winter skies. A woman mends clothes by firelight, fingers careful and steady. Outside, the world holds a calm, pale beauty beneath soft clouds. The village breathes steady and warm in a quiet, frozen moment. Thin ice glimmers faintly on shallow pools near frozen earth. A steady wind hums through bare branches with a tender, hushed tune. We now drift toward the soothing calm of evening mealtime. Lanterns lit, windows glow with a steady, inviting warmth. Families gather close, voices low and calm in shared space. The scent of roasted root vegetables and fresh bread fills rooms. A mother ladles soup quietly into heavy bowls, hands steady. Hands reach out for simple tasks, passing dishes with gentle care. Children nibble softly on cheese and fresh berries by firelight. Stories unfold with low, steady voices, a calm, gentle weaving. Soft laughter mingles with the crackle of steady burning logs. Outside, snow falls lightly, settling densely over quiet land. The hush outside deepens, wrapping the night in slow blankets. Evening tasks wind down, a sense of gentle completing in air. A cat purrs nearby, weaving through legs, its rhythm steady. Cups clink quietly as small drinks are shared with gratitude. The scent of scented pine boughs hints of winter's calm peace. Slowly, eyes grow heavy under thick blankets and soft covers. The warmth of home cuddles every heart beneath fading firelight. Whispers fade as night deepens, steady breaths, steady and full. Outside, the stars peer faintly through windows dusted with frost. We move now toward the tender hush of a late autumn afternoon. Golden light streams gently through amber leaves on old trees. The village slows under a warm, mellow sky of soft blue. Children play with slow steps among piles of fallen leaves. The scent of wood smoke curls faintly through the steady breeze. Pairs of feet wander gently, crunched leaves marking calm paths. Farmers pause in fields, tending to animals with patient care. A woman dips fingers slowly into cool water at the well. Basket handles rest warm, filled with freshly gathered late crops. The village breathes deeply, held in the gentle clasp of fall. Smoke from ovens mingles softly with the faint rustle of leaves. Old men sit silently beneath trees, sharing calm smiles and quiet tales. Fields stretch far, steady and brown beneath peaceful skies. A tired dog lies near a warming fire, steady breathing soothed. Veils of mist begin to wreathe the hills, calm and steady. The day folds softly into deep, mellow hues of dusk. Lanterns glow tenderly along paths, pale light flickering with promise. Quiet voices murmur, blending with the soft hush of evening. We now drift toward the gentle rhythm of freshwater streams. Clear water runs steady over worn smooth stones, among gentle banks. Reeds sway calmly beside slow pools, kissed by fading light. Fish glide silently beneath glassy surfaces, calm and silver bright. Loon calls echo faintly, mellow and distant in quiet air. Children pause near river edges, watching slow ripples catch sun. Hands cup water carefully, refreshing faces with steady motion. A fisherman's boat rocks quietly in the calm late afternoon. Green moss softens edges of stones along the peaceful shore. Dragonflies flit faintly, their wings catching the fading sun gently. Birds rest silently in trees that lean softly toward the stream. Water rushes slow, weaving through roots and fallen leaves tenderly. The cool air tastes of mint, earth, and soft rain past. Evening light dapples gently across still pools in calm rings. A woman washes cloth by the water's edge, steady in work. Branches dip low, touching the water like whispered greetings.
The river hums softly, a soothing, steady lullaby in nature's ear.
Footsteps tread slowly along grassy banks lined with wildflowers. Daylight fades gently, painting skies in peaceful shades of lilac and blue. We move now toward the soft warmth of a quiet morning kitchen. Steam rises slowly from a kettle in a simple wood kitchen. A mother hums low, preparing breakfast with steady hands and heart. Porcelain cups rest on wooden tables, catching faint morning light. Bread is sliced carefully, balancing on flat boards of oaken grain.
A small pot of cream cools quietly beside bowls of fresh berries.
The scent of roasted barley tea drifts softly through the room.
Eyes smile tenderly across the table at stories shared slow.
Outside, dew clings thick on grass, shimmering in soft dawn. Loaves cool on racks near open windows, catching gentle breezes.
A cat sits patiently, waiting for crumbs to fall.
Fingers wipe buttery hands on rough linen, calm and steady. The warmth of the fire fills rooms with sweet, steady heat.
Light filters through curtains,
Casting soft shadows on lumpy clay pots. Quiet laughter bubbles like a slow stream among morning chores. Small hands help with careful pouring and mixing of batter. The house hums faintly with sounds of calm, steady morning routine. Smoke curls from chimneys, weaving upward into wide morning skies. The scent of fresh herbs greets visitors at the open door. Outside, birds flit between branches, their calls mild and steady. We now drift toward the peaceful pace of village animals at dusk. Horses stamp quietly, flicking gentle tails through cooling evening air. Goats chew calmly on rough, dried grasses near wooden fences. Chickens settle softly into straw-lined coops for the coming night. Sheep gather close beneath a quiet sky, thick with slow stars. A dog rests at the gate, eyes steady and tender in the dim. Breath puffs lightly in the crisp, steady dusk air. The low murmur of animals blends softly with gentle wind sighs. Farmhands move slowly, checking gates with hands taut but kind. Lantern light casts mellow pools on soft ground and still fur. Animals breathe calm, steady rhythms in the enfolding quiet of night. The village animals know the comfort of routine and shelter. Soft, rustling sounds hum faintly, steady as the falling dark. Dew begins to settle on rough fur and smooth feathers alike. A cat curls by woodpile, tail twitching faintly in sleep. Quiet comes wrapped in a blanket of cool, misty air.
The village settles into its calm night, with animals at rest.
Stars peek steadily through open skies, bright and unhurried.
Eyes close slowly, heartbeats slow in the peaceful, dark embrace. We now drift gently to the hum of spinning wool by firelight. In a cozy corner, a wheel turns slow and steady. Fibers twist and wind into threads with tender, patient hands. Quiet chatter blends with the humming spin of wooden wheels. A woman's fingers dance softly along wool dyed in calming hues. Skeins hang loosely on racks, drying in the gentle warmth. The fire's low crackle adds a steady pulse to the room. Children watch quietly, eyes fluttering, lulled by rhythmic motion. The scent of lanolin mingles lightly with smoky, mellow hearth air. Threads pass through fingers and needles with familiar, peaceful ease. Spinning and weaving weave a quiet comfort through fading light. Outside, crickets begin their faint song under a steady, starry sky. Quiet moments pause with every turn of the wheel's steady rhythm. Soft rugs and blankets gather slowly, ready to warm cold nights. Hands fold fabric gently as breath softens in the gathering dusk. A calming, patient skill fills the room with still and warmth. Evening deepens slowly beyond shuttered windows and glowing hearth flames. The simple craft pulses like a steady heartbeat in this quiet home. We now drift softly toward the hush of a midsummer morning. Mornings stretch long and slow beneath expansive, pale blue skies. The scent of wildflowers drifts faintly in warm, steady breezes. Villagers rise slowly, bathed in the tender light of early sun. A child skips barefoot through dew-laced grass, laughter low and clear. Soft bees buzz near blossoms heavy with summer's quiet fruit. A fishing boat glides silently across calm, shimmering waters nearby. Shadows dance faintly among tall grasses waving gently in breeze. Women gather herbs and flowers, hands gentle and sure in picking. Sunlight warms stone walls and wooden beams with steady, golden touch. Farmers work soft soil carefully, the earth cool beneath their fingers. Steam curls slowly from morning fires, filling air with familiar scent. Birds flit softly through boughs, their songs a calm serenade. Children gather at the well with slow, smiling steps and soft voices. The village breathes deeply in the slow warmth of summer's glow. Lanterns lie unused, folded by the windows where soft light reigns. Families pause under spreading trees, sharing quiet, steady meals. The world holds a gentle sway in these peaceful morning hours. A dog naps beneath shaded hedges, calm and warm in the sun. We now shift softly toward the tender care of home gardens. Small hands dig slowly in rich soil kissed by morning dew. Rows of herbs and vegetables stand steady beneath careful tending. Tomato plants climb with steady twine, winding through wooden stakes. Bright blossoms peek shyly among leaves, quiet colors warmed by sun. Water splashes softly from bucket to thirsty roots with steady flow. A grandmother tends peas with calm, practiced fingers and steady gaze. The air hums with steady bee visits among fragrant blossoms today. Buckets brim with ripe cucumbers, resting heavy among leaf shade. Potatoes hide softly beneath earth, waiting for gentle harvest. Sunlight filters through leaves, dancing lightly on garden paths. Small birds perch quietly among branches, undisturbed by steady care. A patch of wildflowers grows just beyond the fence, bright and mellow. Garden tools lie resting, worn handles smooth from constant use. A tender breeze stirs leaves, stirring quiet shadows on the ground. The steady drip of water keeps earth moist and full of life. All around, garden life pulses low and tender beneath soft skies. We now glide gently toward the quiet evening preparations for rest. As dusk settles, the village slows its gentle rhythm again. Smoke curls slowly from chimneys, promising warmth and quiet comfort. Lanterns flicker faintly, casting mellow light through open doorways. Families gather beside hearths, voices hushed like soft whispers. Children yawn softly, pulling blankets up with steady hands. Meals are shared slowly, bread broken quietly with calm hands. Ovens cool steadily, the scent of days cooking slowly fading. A cat weaves among legs, purring a low, constant hum. Soft laughter lingers as stories merge with the night's gentle embrace. Hands fold fabric carefully, preparing for the coming cold night. Footsteps tread steady paths between houses, settling into stillness. The air thickens with the calm scent of wood smoke and herbs. Windows glow warmly against the deepening blues of night sky. Above, stars blink faintly through thinning clouds, tender and distant. The breeze carries soft rustles through leafy branches overhead. The village breathes slow and steady in the hush of evening. We now drift toward the hush wrapped in the silence of midnight. Under dark skies, silence holds the land like a soft cloak. Owl calls echo faintly, steady and slow among sleeping trees.
A small boat rocks gently beneath moonlight on smooth water.
Night air feels cool and faintly fragrant with pine and earth.
Faint breaths of animals mingle softly with soft rustling leaves.
Lanterns rest unlit, folded quietly on tables and windowsills.
Deep shadows stretch and fold like gentle waves across fields. The village sleeps undisturbed beneath a calm and steady watch.
Stars drift silently, slow and patient as ages before.
No sound breaks the stillness except the hush of soft night winds.
Windows blur faintly with moisture,
Catching traces of distant light. A cat curls tightly in a patch of warmed earth near home. Breath comes soft and even from those wrapped in deep rest. The river murmurs a faint, steady lullaby through quiet woods. The world holds its breath in the calm, steady arms of night. We now shift softly toward the first blush of a winter dawn. Pale light seeps through frosted panes on silent, sleeping homes.
frost sparkles faintly on wide fields and roofs
Like tiny stars. Smoke rises slow and steady, tracing quiet paths into cold sky. Villagers stir beneath thick blankets, waking in steady, calm breaths. Animals stretch slowly, stepping softly on crisp, frozen earth below. Hands warm slowly over hearth fires, soft and ember glowing now. The scent of smoked fish mixes with fresh pine and cold air. Footsteps crunch gently on snow-packed paths between low, sturdy buildings. A mother hums quietly, drawing calm from the slow morning light. A dog waits patiently by the door, tail thumping, slow welcome.
Pots clang softly in kitchens preparing warming, hearty meals now.
The frost-laced trees glisten under steady skies, pale and still. Cold, clear water drips steadily from icicles into waiting buckets. A child peeks from thick blankets, eyes wide with peaceful wonder. The day stretches carefully in front of the village, soft and pale. We now drift toward the mellow warmth found in midsummer afternoons.
Sunlight filters lightly through leaves, heavy with summer green.
A gentle breeze carries the scent of roses and blooming lavender. Villagers rest in shaded nooks, their faces calm and restful. Children pause in slow games beneath the vast, steady sky. Beehives buzz softly near garden edges, full of quiet industry. The murmur of leaves blends with distant running water, tender and mild. Old men sit in circles, sharing steady smiles and slow tales. Baskets brim with ripe berries, resting gently in warm laps. The laughter of a child floats faintly on the slow breeze. Cloth spreads out on grass, dotted with simple summer fare. A woman pours cool water from a carved wooden jug carefully. Sunlight dapples the soft ground where friends gather in peaceful shade. Ducks paddle leisurely across a slow, shimmering pond nearby. The village breathes deeply in the warm embrace of summer's day. Evening comes slow, casting long, mellow shadows across soft earth. Lanterns light gradually, their glow tender in the gathering dusk. Faces glow warmly beneath the steady light of setting sun. The world settles into the steady calm of peaceful twilight. We now float gently toward the tender hush of early autumn dawn. Mist curls slowly over fields brushed in autumn's muted hues. The scent of damp earth mingles with fading wildflowers and crisp leaves. Villagers rise softly beneath the faint touch of early sun. Hands warm near hearths as slow fires begin their steady morning work. A quiet song drifts faintly on the barely moving air. Children wrap woolen cloaks tightly against the cool, steady breeze. A basket of apples sits patiently on a lichen-covered stone wall. Farm animals breathe calm and deep beneath thick, sheltering barns. Twigs snap gently underfoot along winding, well-loved forest paths. Streams reflect soft golds and reds of turning leaves above. The village stirs slowly, wrapped in the tender colors of fall. Old women share hushed laughter as they prepare soft stews. Harvest tools rest quietly, their edges dulled by gentle use. A cat weaves through ankle-high bushes, eyes bright and peaceful. Smoke from early fires curls languidly into the steady sky. Soft shadows stretch long and mellow across waiting fields. The air holds a calm stillness, full of unfolding peace. We now drift quietly to the slow pulse of a midsummer garden. Flowers bloom full and bright beneath a warm, steady sun. Bees drift lazily among petals, moving with steady purpose. Water splashes quietly in stone basins, a soft hum of life. Herbs hang in bunches, drying under gentle woven baskets. A woman tends tomatoes, tying vines with slow, patient care. Sunlight warms stones and soil, breathing steady heat into plants. Children sit nearby, weaving crowns from soft wildflowers and grass. Trees sway lightly, leaves whispering tales in steady breezes. Quiet humming of insects blends into the calm garden air. Buckets brim with fresh cucumbers and herbs, ripe and steady. A dog naps beneath the cool shade of elder bushes. The scent of lavender drifts, faint and deeply peaceful. Garden paths wind softly between rows of lush green and bloom. A small bird trills quietly, perched atop a freshly cut hedge. Evening shadows fall slowly, cooling the earth with tender grace. The garden breathes deeply, wrapped in the calm of steady dusk. Lanterns light softly, their glow a warm kiss on vibrant greens. The night settles softly, nurturing every leaf and petal in rest. We now sail gently toward the tender quiet of a family hearth.
A fire burns low, casting amber light on well-worn walls.
Wooden shelves hold pots and tools, each placed with steady care. A mother mends clothes by flickering firelight, fingers moving slow. A child sleeps peacefully beside woven baskets filled with yarn. The scent of pine soap lingers softly in warm, steady air. A kettle whistles faintly, a gentle song in the quiet room. Hands fold cloth carefully, preparing for the coming cooler nights. The glow of the fire warms faces gathered close in soft circle. Outside, the wind sighs through tall pines with steady, tender rhythm. The room hums quietly with the comfort of shared presence. Small feet pad softly across the wooden floor, steady and light. Soft laughter dances on breaks heavy with evening's calm. A cat curls on a soft rug, tail flicking in faint dreams. Shadows merge tenderly with the warmth of the dying fire. The family breathes steadily, wrapped in the slow pulse of night. Stars glimmer faintly through small windows, steady and patient watchers. The dark is full of quiet promises held steady through time. We now drift toward the mellow stillness of a late autumn evening. Faint light from fading day lingers on wooden shutters closed tight. A chill wind hums softly through barren branches outside homes. Smoke spirals slow and steady from thick stone chimneys above. Families draw close by fires with calm, steady breaths and hearts. The scent of roasting nuts and apples slowly warms the room. Children's sighs mix gently with low tales told soft and slow. The glow of lanterns flickers steady on rough-hewn tables and walls. A dog rests quietly near hearth's edge, breathing soft and even. Finished chores settle like gentle waves on calm water far away. Voices turn soft, words folded carefully between flickers and shadows. Outside, the steady hum of night insects weaves a steady thread. Blankets gather, soft and warm, folded gently over tired shoulders. A mother's hand brushes hair slowly, tender and reassuring touch. The night deepens slowly, enfolding each soul in steady embrace. Stars shine faint and steady through clear, chill sky overhead. The village glows softly beneath the calm, wide watch of night. We now ease gently toward the quiet preparation for rest in winter. Heavy frost coats windows in delicate patterns of silver lace. Fireplaces burn bright with steady flames and mellow orange light. Tired hands fold thick blankets, ready for the frozen cold night. Footsteps crunch softly on paths lined with frost and brittle leaves. The scent of pine resin mixes with warm smoke in the air. Behind closed doors, voices lull softly into gentle, steady whispers. A mother hums low, swaying slowly in the circle of light. Winter crops rest carefully in cellars, waiting for steady spring warmth. Villagers gather close near fires, wrapped warmly in wool and furs. A cat pads softly across the floor, seeking warmth among shadows. Outside, a gentle wind sighs through bare, steady branches overhead. Crickets cease their song as night deepens into quiet, still peace. Heavy breaths, steady and calm, mix with the slow crackle of logs. Lantern light spills softly, casting friendly pools in dark corners. The world seems held gently in the arms of steady night. In the stillness, each soul finds the quiet ebb of rest. We now drift softly to the calm beginning of a spring morning. Morning light breaks gently through branches swelling green with new life. The village stirs beneath a coat of soft fog and warm air. Small streams trickle steadily, carrying winter's quiet away with them. Women gather to plant seeds, their hands steady beneath bright skies. Chickens cluck softly as they peck amid fresh, damped earth and grass. Bundles of fresh herbs hang on porch beams, mingling scents gently. The air buzzes softly with the early flight of steady bees. Hands knead dough slowly, the smell of fresh bread warming homes. Sunlight warms stone walls and thatched roofs with steady, sleepy glow. Children chase softly through fields, turning brisk and green once again. Smoke from hearth fires curls slowly into the pale spring air. The world feels tender and calm, wrapped in steady renewal's embrace. A cat pads quietly along wooden fences, steady paws on warm wood. Baskets brim with eggs and fresh greens from roots and rain-soft earth. Birdsong rises quietly,
weaving steady melodies through fresh morning breeze. We now drift gently toward the steady calm of evening mealtime. Dusk filters slowly through soft clouds painted in gentle amber hues. Families gather at tables laid smooth and warm with summer's harvest. Hands pass bowls brimming with tender greens and roasted new potatoes. The sweet scent of fresh berries mingles with soft bread and butter. A father pours drink slowly, the clink of cups calm and low. Children's laughter mixes softly with hum of peaceful evening talk. Lantern light glows faintly, golden pools on weathered wood surfaces. Smoke drifts quietly from nearby hearths into cooling, steady air. Homes wrap themselves in the tender blankets of night's embrace. Outside, soft footsteps pass slowly along dusty lanes between houses. Dogs settle down quietly under cool porch shadows, tails flicking slow. Soft music from a distant flute mingles with faint evening breeze. The village breathes together, a collective sigh full of calm peace. Stars peer gently from above, steady and distant in the sky. We now drift softly toward the tender hush of a winter afternoon. Gray skies hang low, brushing snowflakes lightly across frozen fields. Villagers move slowly, their steps muffled by freshly fallen blankets. Smoke plumes steady and thick from stone chimneys against dull light. Fingers cup warm mugs, hands steady in the biting chill outside. Animals huddle beneath thick straw in shaded, sheltered barns. A child's breath puffs softly in clouds that dissolve into cold air. A woman feeds chickens near the hearth's warm, steady glow. The scent of pine and wood smoke mingles with damp winter earth. Woolen cloaks fold thick and heavy on beds covered with soft furs. Lanterns flicker faintly inside low, wooden houses nestled close. The quiet murmur of thought and soft voice fills cozy rooms. Cattle rest patiently in quiet stalls beneath soft snow's hush. Outside, trees stand still, heavy with quiet drifts of snow. The village breathes slow and steady under pale winter sun. We now drift gently toward the soothing calm of a spring evening. Warm winds carry blossoms softly through the open village streets. Lantern light glimmers faintly through gently swaying curtains of home. Dew-kissed petals flutter softly in the steady breeze of dusk. Children tire slowly, their soft steps trailing toward sheltered doorways. Smoke drifts lazily in orange pools, warming the cooling air outside. A mother rocks a cradle beneath the soft glow of firelight.
The scent of fresh bread and herbs hangs softly throughout the village. Evening songs rise gently beneath skies, fading into deep blue. The hearth's glow reaches into every quiet corner of wooden walls. Soft fingers close books and settle woolen blankets for peaceful night. A dog rests near a fire, tail flicking slow in sleep. Whispers drift quietly as families fold into the steady hush of dark. Outside, stars flicker gently through branches hanging full of spring leaves. Time lays still in the steady, tender pulse of gentle night. And so, the quiet rhythms of history slowly continue through time. Thank you for listening, and have a peaceful night. We now turn our thoughts to the morning light in a quiet Viking hamlet. Dew clings faintly to the tall grass, shimmering under soft sun rays.
Farmers rise slowly.
Wrapping woolen cloaks around themselves against the cool air. They step barefoot into the mist that lingers close to the earth. Wood smoke curls tender from small chimneys, blending into the dawn's calm. Pale birds sing mellow tunes from high branches, greeting the new day. Hands grasp wooden buckets steady, filling them with fresh spring water. Inside longhouses, gentle flames catch twigs, warming the air a little. Bread dough rests in warm corners, waiting patiently for the day. Children stir gently, yawning beneath earthy linens on straw-filled beds. Outside, a few elders stretch their limbs by the still water's edge. Their voices float faint and steady, telling tales of quiet days gone. Domesticated hens cluck softly as they wander around tidy homesteads. Fields lie calm and awaiting the steady footsteps of tending hands. The soft crunch of sandals on gravel walks alongside a babbling brook. Garden beds bloom faintly with wild herbs, bright and tenderly green. Fishing nets hang loosely, drying quietly as waves lap with mellow sound. Sails rest folded, waiting for gentle winds that might carry them afar. Baskets filled with root vegetables stand patiently beneath wooden shelves. We catch the peaceful motion of a potter spinning soft, wet clay. His fingers move steady, shaping earthy vessels inside the hushed workshop. Nearby, a woman sorts delicate threads for weaving cloth at dawn's blush. Quiet laughter rises faintly as friends share warm mugs of barley tea. Sun climbs gradually, casting tender rays through woven window shutters. The very air seems filled with a calm promise of simple joys. Now we glide toward the smooth rhythm of a village by a river. Boats rest balanced on gentle waves, their wood dark with age and salt. Villagers pass with soft footsteps along worn, stone-lined paths beside water. Fishwives arrange their freshest catch in neat wooden crates, quiet and sure. Faint smells of seaweed and salt mingled gently with morning's cool breath. Birds wheel low above, their call steady as they hunt for small fish. Old men sit rocking peacefully on carved benches, watching sails in the distance. The market stalls stand empty for now, but hum with latent life. Bundles of dried herbs hang like quiet art from stall rafters. A child's hand clasps shyly around a smooth, polished piece of amber.
The scent of smoked fish drifts faintly beneath a woven canopy.
Small dogs pad softly, tails wagging in sleepy waves around the crowd. Nearby, a craftsman hammers slowly in a hushed rhythm on thin metal. His eyes shine calm beneath brows furrowed with gentle focus and care. The steady splash of oars blends peacefully with murmurs from the shore.
Even the river itself seems to hum a tender, ancient melody.
Let us now wander toward the slow pace of a farmhouse in spring. Wooden beams rise strong overhead, sheltering a still life of daily tasks.
A cat stretches languid, curling beside dried flowers warming in sunlight.
Clay pots line the shelves, shadows playing quietly in their curved shapes. A mother kneels near a cradle, humming lullabies soft and steady. Chickens wander freely through the yard, leaving faint clucks and footprints.
The smell of fresh hay joins earth and softened wood inside halls.
A wooden churn moves smooth circles, turning milk into creamy butter.
Fingers wrap small bundles of flax, preparing threads for weaving later.
Low voices converse near the well, sharing news amid gentle chores. The sound of spinning wheels weaves softly through the bright afternoon.
Sunlight glides across woven rugs, making patterns steady and warm.
Meals are planned with care, simple ingredients gathered from near fields. Quiet steps lead to a garden thick with herbs and ripening roots.
A family dog lies curled near a sunlit threshold, breathing slow and deep.
Now, slowly we drift to the stillness of a quiet inland forest. Trees stretch tall and steady, their leaves whispering faint secrets above. Moss carpets the earth, tender and cool beneath steady footsteps.
A stream trickles peacefully, its voice a low murmur among stones.
Bird songs weave a calm tapestry, filling open air with serene sound.
A lone woman gathers berries softly, placing them gently in a basket.
Sunlight, dappled through branches, paints warm patches on her steady hands. A necklace of carved bone rests quietly around her neck, ancient and tender. Further on, a small clearing holds a fire unlit, calm and waiting. Soft shadows lengthen as the afternoon cools beneath skies pale blue. In this gentle world, even time seems to settle and sigh. We now ease into the quiet rhythm of a longhouse at evening. Shadows dance faintly on woven walls as lamps burn low and steady. Families gather close, sharing tales with voices hushed and warm. A steady crackle of firewood complements the soft hum of gentle words. The smell of roasted roots and honeyed ale fills the pleasant air. Hands pass bowls of fragrant stew, stirred from deep iron pots. Soft laughter fills the room, tender and mellow as twilight falls. A child's curls brush quietly against a mother's embroidered sleeve. The bark outside is faint under the calm gleam of a waxing moon. Warm blankets are spread on earthen floors to cradle long limbs. Outside, the wind carries leaves in steady spirals through the settled night. Now, gently, we move to the serene rhythm of a shepherd's day. Morning breaks softly across wide, rolling hills draped with green grass. Herding crooks balance gently in calloused hands worn smooth by years. Sheep dot the landscape like quiet clouds resting on the earth. The shepherd's voice rises low, steady commands to calm wandering flocks. The faint trampling of hooves blends with a breeze full of wildflowers. Twilight slips over hills as the flock settles close for the night. Nearby, a small fire flickers with steady, reassuring warmth and light. The shepherd hums a melody, tired eyes tracing stars appearing slowly. A dog curls at feet, breathing faint and even in the cool air. We drift now to the tender moments inside a Viking weaving hall. Looms stand tall, their frames steady and rough against woven textures. Hands slide threads gently through, creating patterns methodical and slow. Women share quiet smiles, speaking little, but understanding much in silence. The smell of flax and beeswax blend quietly into the woven air. Soft cloth emerges, neat and steady, from the careful work of days. In corners, bundles of dyed wool rest cool in shadows and light. Fingers tie knots with calm precision, crafting pieces meant to last. The hum of the hall carries a soft vibration through sturdy walls. Now, we glide to the stillness of a quiet fishing cove at dawn. Mist lingers faintly over water as small boats lull in gentle sway. Fishermen untangle nets with tender patience, hands steady but worn. Seabirds hover lightly above, resting wings against the calm sky. Driftwood lies scattered, smooth and pale, where waves have kissed the shore. A child dips toes in chilly water, watching the slow roll of tide. Fish baskets wait quietly, their weight balanced by soft ropes and time. Seals bark faint in the distance, their calls blending into ocean's hush. Gentle waves lap softly, weaving melodies beneath a sky turning amber. We now move softly to the midday bustle of a small village square. Merchants place wooden crates in neat rows beneath linen awnings. Fresh fruits and vegetables glint quietly in the warm sunlight's embrace. The faint aroma of dried spices is carried on a mild breeze. Around a well, women chat in tender tones while fetching cool water.
Children practice weaving grass baskets, fingers working with slow care. Potters display earthenware bowls in humble, steady patterns for buyers.
Soft murmurs grow steady with the passing of measured hours and sunlight.
A blacksmith strikes gently on iron, sparks faint and bright against dusk.
The day winds down with laughter fading into softened, mellow peace. Next, we settle into the tacit warmth of a Viking family meal.
Wooden dishes hold simple roast venison with fresh garden herbs interlaced.
Bowls of barley and wild greens rest beside cups of herbal tea. Light candles flicker gently, casting mild shadows on smiling faces.
Quiet conversation drifts between bites, steady and warm like the fire's glow.
The youngest child nurses quietly, fingers twining with a mother's hand.
Stories flow without haste, drawing patterns on worn tablewood.
Slowly, the meal concludes as lids close on remaining cool food.
Quiet footsteps retreat softly toward ready beds, layered with woven blankets.
Outside, crickets begin their peaceful chorus beneath stars shining clear and bright.
We now float toward the gentle care of Viking grooming rituals.
A wooden comb, lightly carved, moves carefully through tangled hair strands. Water from a carved cup trickles slowly over hands and face alike.
Oils made from herbs are rubbed tenderly into skin for warmth and glow.
Mirrors crafted from polished bronze reflect calm eyes softened by evening. Beards are trimmed with steady precision, tools resting nearby quietly. Nails are cleaned with gentle motions, neat and tender as the night. Soft cloth wipes away the faint dust of dusty paths and fields. This moment lingers in a calm bubble of personal care and peace. Returning then to the hum of cheerful crafting rooms filled with soft light. Weaving baskets, sewing leather, and carving wood all unfold at low tempos. Hands fold plans carefully, steady with practiced ease born from daily use. The scent of pine and leather wraps warmly around quiet smiles shared.
Tools rest on tables, arranged with deliberate stillness,
Awaiting their turn. Calm voices exchange tips, woven gently with words of care and respect. Outside, the wind stirs the chimes hung from dark wooden eaves. Evening shadows lengthen as the village quietly prepares for night's embrace. We now drift toward the tender rhythms of Viking education for youth. Children circle around elders with calm eagerness in bright daylight. Stories unfold softly, lessons woven into tales of nature and craft. Runes are traced lightly in sand or carved gently into wood. Questions rise and fall like slow waves on a peaceful shore. Hands are guided in steady patience over letters and shapes. Laughters bubble faint amidst the calm seriousness of learning's tender process. The classroom is a simple space filled with warm, steady light. Outside, the day begins to close in serene gradients of orange and pink. We quietly move along to the calm solitude of a Viking orchard. Fruit hangs in steady clusters, ripe shades glowing beneath the gentle sun. A basket rests waiting for the careful picking of apples and berries. The scent of earth and blossoms lingers faint as bees drift quietly. Leaves rustle softly, stirred by a mild breeze through tender branches. Birds nest high above, their songs blending with the orchard's peaceful air. A figure strolls leisurely, fingers brushing over rough bark and tender leaves. Sunlight dapples the ground, making spots of warmth among the cool shadows. We glide now into the soft murmur of a hearthside song. Voices rise faintly, weaving melodies that cradle the room with warmth. Flames flicker quietly, casting mellow lights on attentive, rested faces. A child taps fingers gently, keeping time with the fading tune. The harmony is delicate, steady like the turning of a calm tide. Finally, we drift toward the calm of a Nordic night by a lake. Water lies glassy and still, mirroring stars twinkling with steady light. The gentle lap of waves breaks softly against smooth, worn stones. Faint mists rise and hover like whispers, touching the edge of trees. A single lantern sways low on a dock, casting warm, tender light. Frogs croak somewhere distant, adding their hushed voices to nighttime's hum. Trees bow slightly in the quiet breeze that carries faint woodland scents. A quiet boat rocks in soft rhythm, tethered firmly to rest. Time seems to slow, wrapped in the serene finish of a day well spent. Now, let us wander into the realm of Viking homes and their cozy spaces. Wooden walls, thick and sturdy, embraced warmth against cool northern winds. Smoke curled softly from low stone chimneys, a faint scent of pine and peat. Inside, firelight danced quietly across hand-carved beams and roughly hewn furniture. Women stirred pots of porridge, scents of barley and honey filling the air. Children nestled on woven mats, wrapped in homespun cloths for tender rest. A cat purred gently near the hearth, its fur catching shimmering firelight. Tables held simple wooden dishes, carved with care by skillful hands. Furs and hides lined resting spots, offering steady comfort to weary bodies. Cloth curtains divided spaces softly, allowing peace in personal corners. Morning light seeped gently through small, oiled parchment windows in quiet pools. Outside, laundry hung slowly in a lazy breeze, colors of homespun earth. The day passed in unhurried rhythm, steady as the turning seasons. Men mended nets with calm fingers, weaving patience into every loop. Young ones chased shadows across sunlit meadows, laughter low and mellow. Dogs lay beside doorway stones, watching quietly with loyal, steady eyes.
A farm's smells circled round, faint aromas of fresh earth and sweet grain.
Wood shavings lay scattered, reminders of careful crafting throughout the day. A jenny spun wool, its soft whir drifted hushed through the low walls. Meals were shared by firelight, voices blending in tranquil appreciation. Evenings brought stories in quiet tones, tales passed in fond familiarity. The soft sound of a lute hummed through pauses in gentle talk. Hands knitted woolen socks, strokes as steady as time itself. Outside, the sun painted skies in mellow, fading hues, slowly descending. Curtains lowered over small windows, wrapping homes in a peaceful embrace. Now we glide toward the fields and gardens, where seeds found patient rest. Rows of cabbages nodded with mellow green beneath steady, soft sunlight. Carrots, dense and sweet below soil, waited through calm, nurturing days. Farmers bent steadily, hands deep in cool earth's hushed embrace. Hoes scratched quiet furrows as furrows held promise through warm rains. Along garden edges, herbs gave fragrant whispers mid gentle breeze.
Thyme and dill lent gentle scents, like memories of a warm kitchen.
The steady hum of bees floated faint and tender across blossoming flowers. Tending crops unfolded as a meditative task, rhythmic and unchanged. Evening dew kissed leaves in serene, glistening drops of calm. Birds called faintly from distant branches, their soft songs awaking peace. Baskets brimmed with fresh greens, steady with nature's slow treasures. Children watched earthworms, marveling quietly at life beneath their feet.
Clouds drifted high, folding the garden in comfortable, dreamlike light. Sunset came softly, painting everything in a warm, mellow glow.
The scent of damp earth and herbs mingled in cool night whispers. Fireflies blinked faint signals, steady as an old lullaby through dusk. Beneath the hedge, snails carried treasures slowly along tender green paths. Moonlight sank gently into soft soil, wrapping all in a silky hold. A small fawn trotted nearby, steps tender on soft forest floor.
Morning awaited with calm promise.
Enhancing the quiet pulse of earth. Gardens, alive with peace, slept beneath a blanket of twinkling stars. The steady passage of days marked by blossoms, harvests, and rain. The cycle of planting and tending echoed in peaceful harmony always. Seeds hidden deep beneath the soil dreamed of warmth and gentle sun. Let us now drift toward the calm routines of Viking kitchen hearths. Stacks of hand-carved wooden bowls rested beside stacks of kindling wood. A tender flame warmed a simple stew of vegetables and fish from streams.
Steam rose in wispy tendrils, carrying faint herbs and savory hints.
Women stirred pots with steady hands, whispering soft songs while cooking. Fresh bread cooled slowly on wooden boards, crusts crisp and inviting. Butter churned lovingly, its golden cream thick and rich with quiet care. Salted fish hung like gentle reminders of steady patience over embers. Clay pots held berries preserved in sweet syrup, tasting of summer sun. A child sampled soft curds with shy, contented smiles and calm delight. Garlic and onions mingled with dill, fragrances low and tender. Water was drawn from nearby wells, its stillness holding steady coolness. Evenings involved gentle rituals around food, simple and full of warmth. Hungry hands reached for slices of cheese, sharing slow, tender bites. Quiet sharing filled the room, voices fading into contented murmurs. The hearth's warmth held more than fire. It carried the heart of home. Spices, humble and steady, brought subtle changes to familiar dishes. Aprons bore marks of flour dust spread lightly like morning mist. The soft scrape of wooden spoons sounded like a soothing rhythm. Visitors were welcomed with calm smiles and cups of warm mead. The air was thick with smells of hearth, hearthstone, and homely peace. Nights found kitchens dark, but lingering with echoes of gentle chatter. Dreams floated from kitchens into slumbering rooms nearby and beyond. Each meal was a quiet thread woven into the fabric of day. The steady flame of home fed bodies and spirits with balanced calm. We drift now to the gentle pace of Viking marketplaces at dawn. Stalls of woven cloths displayed soft patterns in steady, muted hues. Slow steps carried merchants tending carefully arranged goods and wares. The faint clink of wooden coins echoed faintly in cool morning air. Flax and wool were spread with patient care like textured maps of earth. Bundles of dried herbs hung lazily, scents mixing with fresh pine air. A butcher's counters held simple cuts of meat, hung with steady care. Fishmongers laid out fresh catch, moist scales catching gentle early light. Children wandered in hushed curiosity, eyes wide with steady wonder. Negotiations were soft-spoken, voices low in calm, respectful exchange. Footsteps slowed under arched wooden roofs lined with smooth, dark beams. The chatter was muted, a murmur like a distant stream's flow. Salt crystals sparkled faintly in quiet heaps beside woven baskets. A craftsman polished simple jewelry with gentle, circular motions. Carved wooden toys rested patiently, waiting for calm hands to play. Bakers set down warm loaves, their crusts holding a mellow aroma. The slow unspooling of day's trade followed time's tender march. Sunlight crept steadily through marketplace gaps, bathing all in diffuse gold. Faint smells of wood smoke lingered from nearby cooking fires nearby. Animals stirred gently, their breaths soft clouds and cool air currents. The marketplace was a breath of life, quiet yet steady and shared. Friends exchanged calm greetings, their smiles steady like ancient stones. Slow cartwheels creaked faintly along crooked, worn paths between booths. The market's pulse was measured, paced by human hands and earth's. As sun climbed higher, the marketplace hummed a gentle, familiar tune. We now step softly toward the rhythms of daily woodworking crafts. Shavings curled downward like fallen leaves on a still forest floor. Carpenters sat with calm focus, steady hands shaping dark timber beams. Axe bites left faint marks, each one steady and carefully planned. The scent of fresh-cut wood mingled with distant smell of pine groves.
Slow tapping of small hammers set delicate nails with tender rhythm.
Chisels glided smoothly, drawing fine lines in grain like whispered stories. Sweat beaded faintly on foreheads beneath simple cloth headbands. Children watched wide-eyed as new tools took form from old shapes. Pieces of wood grew steadily into chairs, boats, and everyday tools. Light filtered calmly through open workshops, drifting on dust motes floating. Wood was smooth and warm beneath patient, practiced palms and fingers.
Smiles spread slowly as craftspeople admired steady progress in their work.
Scented oils rubbed gently into surfaces gave woods a mellow sheen. Tools were laid softly at day's end, settled for quiet rest. The workshop doors closed with calm certainty, welcoming evening hush. Night brought dreams of trees and forests, quietly waiting for renewed touch. Sunrise promised steady rhythms of hammer saw and gentle carving sound. Each crafted piece carried the echo of patient hands and warm earth. Woodworking was a meditation, a slow dance of form and function. The calm hum of skill lingered long after tools were finally set down. Evenings found craftsmen sharing hushed stories soaked in the scent of wood. Firelight flickered tenderly upon smooth beams, recalling days' gentle labors. Hands rested calmly in lap, fingers tracing shapes born of steady care. Next, we wander softly toward the calm life by tranquil Viking rivers. Water flowed steady, reflecting sky's pale colors in soft, lending light. Fishermen sat patiently, their lines held steady in quiet expectation. Birds skimmed low, breaking water's surface with faint ripples spreading out. Vegetation curled near banks, ferns and grasses swaying with subtle motion. Ducks glided by in pairs, leaving gentle wakes across gleaming paths. The river's song was steady, a constant hum beneath the day's noise. Vessels made of wood swayed lazily, anchored near beds of moss. Men cleaned nets beside the water, removing plants and stones at ease. Women washed cloth near flowing water, movements smooth and repeated. The smell of wet stone and fresh algae rose faintly in warm air. At sunset, sky turned slowly to pale pink and mellow lavender. Reflections doubled trees that leaned in to drink from cool surface. Fish flickered bright scales beneath clear waters, moving with calm grace. Small children skipped stones, counting steady skips across flat blue slate. Dragonflies buzzed low around reeds, their flight slow and steady arcs. The river's edge held secrets of life, quiet and unchanging through years. Logs tumbled gently downstream after rains, coming to rest with a hush.
Herons
Stood statuesque and serene, waiting with steady patience for food. The day's heat faded softly into evening's embracing cool hush. Stars began to twinkle like faint lanterns above rippling water's edge. A soft mist began to gather, folding the river in silent shrouds. The river listened to the night with a calm and steady breath. Life by water moved with a tranquil pulse and tender ordinariness. Mornings promised new light, fresh movements along the placid flowing tide. We now slip gently into the realm of Viking textile crafts and weaving. Spools of wool spun slowly, steady threads winding round and round. Hands moved tenderly, weaving patterns soft and familiar, like old lullabies. Colors were calm and muted, natural dyes drawn from Earth's quiet bounty. Row upon row of cloth took shape under patient, practiced fingers. Looms creaked faintly, their rhythms a measured song of steady craft. Women hummed softly, their voices blending with the gentle clack of threads. Coarse wool softened with time and touch, becoming warm and steady cloth. Fabrics were folded gently, stacked like quiet memories of care and skill. Strands of flax glowed faintly in shafts of mellow afternoon light. Evening brought calm relaxation as spinning slowed and threads found rest. Patterns told silent stories, woven in peace rather than bold assertion. Knitting needles clicked softly as gentle sweaters and socks took shape. Fringes fluttered like quiet promises at edges of blankets and shawls. Looms rested silently by fires, poised for another patient day's work. Skein after skein of yarn hung patiently to dry in warming sun. Children played with balls of wool, laughter soft as gentle wool fibers. Dyes in earthen bowls sat quietly, colors deep and steady. Women exchanged knowledge with tender smiles across glowing hearths. Fabric shapes grew slowly, wrapped around bodies for calm, steady warmth. Nightfall found spinners and weavers wrapped in blankets of their own making. Dreams mingled with the soft rustle of crafted cloth sliding through hands. Morning light promised fresh beginnings on looms waiting quietly to weave. The craft was a slow poetry of texture, time, and quiet care. Let us now drift toward the tender rituals of Viking morning routines. Dawn spilled softly through open windows, bathing faces in a calm glow. Men stretched and yawned quietly, the first light easing into limbs. Children rubbed sleep from eyes with small, gentle hands, still slow to wake. Women moved carefully, preparing simple breakfasts with tender movements. Bowls of porridge steamed quietly, touched by golden rays of early sun. Steps across wooden floors fell softly, measured and steady like a breath. Doors opened to fresh, cool air scented faintly of pine and earth. Smoke from morning hearths drifted lazily, a warm hug to the senses. Faces brightened slowly as fresh air mingled with soft scents of earth. Animals awoke too, their quiet noises blending with calm human stirrings. Water was drawn in steady loops, filling basins with cold, clear sounds. Hands washed with careful grace, droplets falling in measured, pleasant rhythm. Breakfast was shared in warmth, voices low and gentle, with waking calm. Outside, roosters crowed with distant echoes, announcing steady new day's start. The first tasks of the day moved slowly, a peaceful unfolding of duties. Shadows shifted softly as sun rose higher, colors mellow and steady. Children found quiet play in corners, their laughter low and melodic. The world seemed wrapped in a tender cloak of gentle morning light. Simple chores felt like rituals, steady and sure in their quiet purpose. Every breath and motion invited calm, a slow dance with dawn itself. As the day grew, so did its gentle pulse, steady and unhurried. Morning rituals touched the soul with warmth and quiet familiarity. The steady rhythm of life welcomed all into the calm new light. We glide now toward the peaceful moments within Viking religious rituals. Temples made of wood stood quietly beneath long shadows of tall trees. Incense smoke rose in tendrils, carrying sacred fragrances into cool air. Priests moved calmly, their voices low as whispers of ancient prayers. Candles flickered gently, casting faint, warm light upon carved worship pieces. Stone altars bore offerings laid with steady hands and reverent care. The murmur of chants wove softly through the steady silence of halls. Flowers and herbs adorned sacred spaces, their scents subtle and inviting. Visitors knelt with tender hearts, finding peace in quiet ceremony. Songs of thanks and hope floated faintly, wrapping worshippers in calm. Hands folded in steady prayer, seeking balance within nature's still rhythm. Evenings in temples were mellow, filled with soft shadows and tender breaths. Symbols carved in wood and stone glowed faintly beneath soft candlelight. The quiet mass of faith rested gently alongside natural world's calm. Priests tended fires that burned steadily, a symbol of eternal warmth. Communion with unseen forces felt like a gentle, steady conversation. Every gesture was deliberate, slow, carried out with tender respect. Sounds of nature mingled seamlessly with hushed voices in sacred space. Moonlight filtered through lattice windows, adding serene glow to calm rituals. Worshippers departed softly, carrying peace and steady steps back to homes. The sacred and mundane lived side by side in calm harmony. Time seemed to pause briefly in these hushed moments of tender faith. Morning found temples still standing, silent guardians of gentle tradition. Steady as the seasons, these quiet rituals wove meaning into daily life. We continue softly toward the daily chores of Viking ship maintenance. Tending ships was a careful art, requiring steady and patient hands. Wood was inspected calmly for cracks or signs of quiet wear. Oiling the planks brought a mellow shine under gentle morning light. Sails were folded with care, their fabric soft from many steady voyages. Ropes were coiled patiently, each loop a note in a quiet melody. Men worked side by side, voices low, speaking in steady tones. Water splashed faintly as buckets were dipped along creaky wooden hulls.
Tools lay quietly on wooden benches, ready for slow, sure tasks.
The scent of tar mixed faintly with fresh sea breeze and pine. Ships rested in calm waters, rocking gently as if breathing deep rest. Children watched quietly from shore, dreaming softly of distant travels. Evenings by the docks were serene, lanterns casting warm, steady glows. The pulse of tides marked time steadily, a calm rhythm beneath work. Ends of bows were gently sanded smooth, shaped by patient fingers. Crew mended nets nearby, their hands also weaving threads of quiet care. The slow clink of hammer against metal echoed faintly through mist. The day's work closed with calm satisfaction, ships ready for future dreams. Night brought silence to docks, with only the faint call of distant gulls. Ships and water held each other in a tender, timeless embrace. The harbor breathed in the peaceful hush of restful twilight. Morning's promise whispered softly, inviting new, steady strokes of care. The ritual of shipmanship was a slow song of wood, water, and time. Hands rested in laps, fingers tracing imagined sails, roofed by calm winds. Next, we glide tenderly toward the gentle rhythms of Viking fishing life. Boats moved slowly on calm waters as nets were cast with care. Early light shimmered faintly across smooth surfaces, soft as old silk. Fishermen hummed steady tunes, their voices blending with water's quiet song. Fish slipped through nets like silver flashes beneath steady, watchful eyes. The scent of brine and fresh catch mingled with warm morning air. Nets were pulled in smoothly, hands steady and practiced from years of care. Buckets filled gently with fish glistened softly, scales catching a mellow light. Meals prepared from the catch filled homes with sweet and salty scents. Tending lines was a meditation, steady and repetitive, soothing as a lullaby. Men repaired boats calmly, while others mended nets with patient grace. Seagulls dipped and soared above, wings spread wide in peaceful arcs. The water sparkled faintly, mirroring slow clouds drifting across pale skies. Even as work ended, fishermen's eyes held the calm pulse of the sea. Tides carried away days' toil, while fishermen rested beneath pale trees. Stories floated softly around evening fires, devotion in the gentle cadence. The day's gifts were celebrated with quiet gratitude and steady hands. The soft slap of water against sides of boats was a lullaby. Stars appeared over calm waves, shimmering faintly like distant fires. Night embraced water and sky in one still, tender heart. Morning would return with steady promise, bringing new catches and quiet joy. The steady rhythm of fishing life flowed in calm, endless repetition. We now settled gently into the customs of Viking clothing and adornment. Fabrics lay folded neatly, colors muted in warm, natural shades. Women stitched slowly, breaths even as fingers threaded calm patterns. Dresses and tunics were cut simply, but with steady, careful skill. Belts of braided leather wrapped the waist with rhythmic, gentle loops. Jewelry, simple and serene, caught the low light of early mornings. Brooches, round and plain, held cloaks with steady, unassuming grace. Shoes were made from soft leather, shaping slowly to each quiet step. Hats and hoods offered calm shields against the tender northern chill. Warm cloaks draped shoulders like a slow, embracing whisper of warmth. Simple bracelets rested lightly, a faint glint against calm skin tones. Fashions changed slowly, like the tides, steady and rooted in tradition. Patterns mimicked nature's order, subtle waves and lines echoing quiet woods. Hands brushed gently over soft cloths, feeling textures drawn from ancient crafts. Colors came from Earth's gentle palette, dyes tenderly coaxed from roots and bark. Buttons chipped from bone or wood clicked softly under steady fingers. Children learned to dress slowly, discovering the tender art of self-care. A quiet sense of pride came from care taken in everyday wearing. As seasons turned, layers shifted gently to meet changing needs and moods. Evenings found clothing laid aside with calm satisfaction and warmth. Morning brought fresh linens folded with steady hands and peaceful hopes. Clothing was a silent, steady companion through all of Vikings' daily rhythms. Let us now move gently to the tender rhythm of Viking herbal medicine. Plants were gathered